Hey y'all, welcome back. This is Michelle from Michelle's Empty Nest, and today I am working on a layout that is for a challenge from the last online crop from Victoria Marie Designs. And for this particular challenge, it's called the 5, 6, 7, 8 challenge. This was a Broadway lights themed challenge. So we had to use 5 pattern papers. So I have those here, and I chose them all from the Vicki Boutin collection. That was Color Study. Then we had to have 6 photos, and so for what I was trying to envision in my head and the photos that I wanted to use, I had to make them very small. I think they're 1 inch by 2 inches. And they are pictures of me with different Snapchat filters. So it's not like it's really important that they be huge anyway. It's just kind of the overall feel of the page that I'm going for. And then we had to have 7 die cuts. So I chose these, and I'm using the Ali Edwards Laugh Story Kit as part of my Story Kit Crush this week. So I will have this posted up on Instagram on Friday for sure, maybe even on Thursday. So I have these different die cuts, and then number 8 was textured items. And so she listed out some examples. Wood veneer was one of them, vellum was another, and then she had like cork and enamel dots and things like that. So I pulled out these 2 enamel dot sets, one from the Stamp Market, and this one, I do not know where this one came from. I don't remember. I didn't save the backing piece. But I think between those, I can kind of get some of the orange, red, and yellow tones, maybe even the green there that is in this background paper. And I thought it was kind of interesting that this design from Ali and this design from Vicki Boutin really played well together, and the colors overall just worked great between these 2 different collections. So I had already done a little bit of cutting of my vellum and marking where I'm going to stitch it onto the top of my paper. I got this idea from Crystal Idonyate. She had done one, I think, down at the bottom of her page with an interactive element. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to go ahead and go off screen and get this stitching done, and then I'm going to come back and get this all put together. Okay, so I have my little vellum pocket stitched up at the top of my page. And I just used white thread. I don't even think I made exact dimensions for the vellum piece. I just cut it bigger than what I knew it needed to be. So then I took my Too Funny wood veneer piece and loaded it up with red line tape. I wanted to make sure it was secure. So I cut out a lot of me putting the tape on, and then a lot of me pulling the backer sheets or the backer pieces off. Sorry for that crazy hair. So then I get it stuck down to my pocket, and I like how that looks. And then what do you know, my camera cut out on me, and I had adhered those strips down, and then I decided to go over to my sewing machine and stitch them as well. So I stitched around the like sides, the bottom, and then partially up on each one of those strips, so it kind of gave like a little tucking spot for my photos. So that's what I did with that. And then I have cut up my journaling that I printed out on cardstock and adhered it to the back of this 4x6 card that came in with the Ali Edwards story kit, Laugh Story Kit. And as I mentioned, I am doing this for Story Kit Crush this week, so you'll see this probably on Thursday or Friday on YouTube and Instagram. And I put an Avery tab on the top of that just to help it pull out a little bit. And now I'm going to go ahead and try to get all of these put together. And as I mentioned, I did this for the most recent Victoria Marie Designs online crop. In her Mighty Network, she does an online crop every month, and it's theme based. And this month was Broadway. It was called Broadway Lights. And so everything had to do with, like Spotlight or the count off of 5, 6, 7, 8 as you would start to dance and do your thing. So, but she always has alternatives as well. If you're not into sports or a fandom or Disney or Broadway or whatever the theme may be, she always has plenty of alternatives. So they're a lot of fun to take part in. And everything is recorded so you can catch the replays if you need to as well. All right, so I have put my photos down, and I decided to kind of catty corner them just a little bit, just to, I don't know, it's kind of whimsical anyway, so I didn't want them to be too straight. And I've decided to put all of my little die cut pieces up on foam squares. And if you are team don't use too many foam squares, you probably should just look away because I use them a lot. So then I'm down to this little smiley face speech bubble. And I was just going to kind of put him in that open space there. And I'm cutting a foam square in half to fill in part of that area. I contemplated putting him in the middle. That was my plan, in that area that's blank. And then all of a sudden I thought, let me stick him up there on this one that doesn't have any words. And I remembered having this big LOL speech bubble. But I thought it was a tad too big, and I didn't want it to be a speech bubble anymore. So I grabbed a 2-inch circle punch, and it wouldn't quite get where I wanted it to be, so I did some mint tape as like a little loop on the side so I could guide it to where I wanted it to be, to cut out exactly around the LOL. And then I'm going to load this one right back up with foam squares as well. And I think that looks better than just that little smiley face speech bubble would have looked. So then I think I'm going to go ahead and, I start with my enamel dots. Almost forgot about those. That was another part of the challenge. So I'm getting those in place, and I decided to do the orange, the green, and the yellow, and I just varied the sizes and put them in a couple of clusters. The clusters probably could have been in a better place, but it is what it is. So then I'm going to pull over an Allie Edwards December Daily stamp set. It's called Tiny Phrases, and I have used this little stamp set on quite a few layouts that have nothing to do with Christmas, because although a lot of the phrases are specific to the holidays, there are many that are not. So I thought this one, it just says experience the magic. Well, that could certainly apply to Christmas, but I think that Snapchat filters are kind of magical as well. So I decided to do that for both sides of the little label to go into the Avery Index tab. So I'm just getting that in place, and then that is going to finish up my layout, and I'll grab my date stamp, get that in place, and then I'll see you in just a second. Okay, y'all, that is where we are going to call this one done. I like how it turned out. The pictures, again, they're small, but they had to be to fit the requirement and the vision that I had in my head to get those two things to meet together. I did have to do them fairly small, but I think overall they make the impact that I was looking for. So this will go into my 9x12 album that is just about me. I may end up adding a piece where I can just leave this outside of the page protector, since there is so much dimension with the stitching and the foam pads and different textures and things. So I'm not sure if I will put it straight into a pocket or not. If I do put it straight into the pocket, having the journaling pull out right from the very top, of course, makes that for very easy access, even if it is inside of a page protector. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, I'd love for you to give me a thumbs up down below. I appreciate you stopping by today, and I would love to have you as part of my channel. So if you would like to subscribe, that would also be awesome. So I have one more Story Kit Crush with the Laugh Story Kit that I think I'm going to have time to do this week, so I may try to film that one as well. In the meantime, I hope you all have an amazing day, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.